Rolling. So we've got Karla here with us. Joanne's going to jump on soon, but I'm just going to turn it over to Brittany because you know Karla far better than I do, so you can introduce her and so on and so forth.
Yes, I do know Karla well. It started back, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, working out, looking our best at 6 a.m.
Miss it.
Actually, you always really did look good, I have to say.
I don't believe you, but I'll take it.
So Karla's an award-winning designer. I'm sure you've seen her on TV. She's a design expert on CBC, Global TV, City TV's Breakfast Television, on her Ask Karla segment. She's a friend, she's a client, and I go to her for advice pretty regularly. And this is Karla. Hey, thanks for coming on tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is fun.
It is fun. It's really fun. I wanted to do this segment because, in our jobs, in Glenn and I's jobs, interior design is incorporated in every aspect of real estate. But we also get asked so many different, there she is.
Is she there?
Yes, here's Joe. Joe, okay. We can see you. You're here.
It is not working on my laptop.
Oh no.
It didn't work on my laptop either, and I had to run in and get my iPad. So
yeah, so here we go.
Here we go. Well,
I figure out how to
We're good. You're good? We're good?
Zoomed in.
Yeah. So I'll introduce you, Joe. This is Joanne. She has quite a good following on Instagram for the Modern Fort. She did 15 years of clinical and for psychology, and she switched over to the design side a few years ago because that was always her passion. And now you really incorporate both sides, for your functional design, and also you do design from top to bottom with homes as well too. So I've got a lot of questions for you because psychology does come in such a big form of design, and as it does with our business as well too. But I'm really interested, so thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it, even though if you're having technical difficulties and so forth.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Just keep talking.
All good. So why don't we start with sort of the real estate side of things. So when we go in, we see a home for the first time, we're looking at ways of how to design this home and what's going to, be subjected to every single buyer out there. And it comes down to staging the home. So we usually do get, a staging company in to give us quotes and so forth, but there's also a lot of times that we're actually giving advice as well too. So do you ever, when you're about to redesign a home or going in, what's your tips for lightly staging a house? What do you like to see as designers? I'll start with Karla.
Okay, I have lots of thoughts on this, and as Brittany knows, my realtor, I recently sold our house not that long ago, and the first thing you want to do is you totally want to clear the clutter. Like, you just want to make it really, even though things are sentimental to you, they're not sentimental to other people, and you really want people to walk in and imagine themselves there. So any personal photographs, I would say I would take them down. Take away anything personal to you. So you've got this blank slate, but then you don't want it to look show homey either, I don't think, because you want people to imagine it feeling warm and how they could live there. So then you want to bring in things that make people feel good. So smell is a big thing. So make sure the doors and windows are open, or maybe there's a really nice candle, but not too overpowering. You want to have maybe go what I did, before I sold my home was I actually bought some new things in there, like new pillows or new throw blanket or new baskets, things for the table, because really it's an emotional, home is emotional in every way, but it's such an emotional experience to go in and see your home. So if you're staging it, it really is, which you're going to have to do anyway. You're going to have to clear it out. You're clearing, and then you're bringing in really thoughtful elements to invoke that sense of someone going, oh, I just feel so good in here in this home. So
yeah, no, definitely. I would say, you know, selling a house is halfway to moving, because you have to
totally
get of your stuff out. So you're going to do it anyway. So, you know, we'll get started now.
Totally. Yeah.
No, that's so awesome. Thanks, Karla. And Joe, I know that, you know, when you guys were selling your house as well too, you definitely were making the spaces in terms of for your kids' space. You were staging that. I remember the conversations we were having there too. So you've just gone.
Yeah. We had, the funny thing is, I totally echo everything that Karla says. It's definitely about forgetting about the you, and keep in mind that anybody can walk into your space. It could be a family, it could not, like it could just be a couple, right? It could be one person too. So it's setting the stage so that anybody can see that they're living there. So the trouble is when you have kids, there's toys everywhere. There's knickknacks, there's things that are personable and some things aren't, right? Like it's just, so the tough thing for us is Ari was actually, I think he was about 3, 4 at the time. And so he was sleeping on a mattress on the floor, because that functionally we had to sleep with him. We have to get that mattress out of the room. And I remember I was talking to you and I said, should I put the bunk bed in now? Or, you know, what would work best in a space for a buyer? Do they want to see 2 beds? Do they want to see a bunk bed? We ended up doing the 2 beds instead, and it actually made the room look bigger rather than having the bunk bed and then, you know, the play space, which I originally thought. But yeah, I think the hardest thing is really getting rid of all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like absolutely what you're saying is when you're selling a home, you're already halfway there in terms of moving. So you're gonna have to purge anyways.
Yeah.
So the biggest things with the toys is I always, like, I have a rule of thumb about you know, keeping things that that kind of go into 5 different boxes. And so if we can fit those in 5 boxes, everything else goes. And just rotate. That's all we have to do.
Love that. I have another thought too. One thing I remember.
That's good advice.
One other thing I remember just was when Joe was talking, what we did too was layout. Like think about changing your layout. Like you were saying, it could be anyone who walks in and you want it to look as best as possible. So you may have your layout a certain way because that works for your family, but actually when you're showcasing your home, you might change the layout. Like I used to have a big sectional in our like little bungalow, but I had taken that out and taken out a rug. I used to have a rug there. I took out the rug, and pulled up the blinds, like did things to really invoke that feeling of airiness and space to it. So, you know, that's other things you could do too with just what you have, right? Is removing.
Yes, removing. Accessorize. You can always change accessories. That's
totally
the thing I love about design, is that if you have a neutral palette already, it's easy to pop in, especially with staging companies as well too. It's easy for staging companies just to pop in accessories to change the whole aesthetic of the space.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.